Hi, I'm Jeremy Brosh with your Compass Hyperion training team. Today we're going to talk about getting started with Smartview's ad hoc analysis. We're going to talk about connecting to the cube, ad hoc analysis, defining dimensions, and moving the dimensions around on the spreadsheet. I'm going to open our Hyperion training toolkit here. And I'm going to go to a blank sheet, and we are going to connect to Smartview. First thing you do is to create an ad hoc analysis from a blank sheet. You open a blank sheet, go to the Smartview tab, and check to see if you're connected to anything. I don't have an active connection to CG Train. I could click it right here, and I would probably have an active connection and refresh. But we're going to go through the panel today. We're going to go to our private connections. We're going to choose our S-based server. We're going to go to the cube that we're looking to do an analysis on. In this case, today we're going to use the Compass Group Training Cube. All data in here is fictional. Once you expand the application, click on the database. Go to the bottom and click on Ad Hoc Analysis. And now we've connected and we've started an ad hoc analysis. The default is that the system will populate the required dimensionality on your sheet, and it will not define or choose any particular level. It will choose the highest level. By the highest level, I mean scenario. If you want to see what's in the dimension, and once you connect it to an S-based cube, choose the S-based tab and then member selection. And because we were on scenario, it automatically brought us to scenario roll-up. And the roll-up is actuals, forecast A, forecast B, budget, goal, forecast, and forecast C. To choose, using this pop-up box, check it. You can move the scenario back and move actuals over. And now we're pulling from just the actual ledger of the data for all periods, for all years, for all entities. And I don't know if you saw it, but this changed. And now we're going to drill in a lot more. I'm going to go P02, Compass 1. FY 2017. The highest level of custom one is top C1. View. Our views are, again, if I didn't know what they were and I wanted to see, S-based tab, member selection. Because it's on view, the view roll-up is populated. Periodic is our month-to-date view, so I selected periodic. For account, I'm going to S-based tab, member selection. I want to see an account from the P&L roll-up, the profit and loss. And I'm going to choose PL revenue, so this is a revenue, or the main revenue account, roll-up action. Choose it, and for custom 2, the highest level is top C2. We should see this number change significantly because now we're not adding up all the dimensions in the cube. We've specified a very specific point in the cube that we're trying to get to. So you can go to S-Base or Smartview. They both have the refresh symbol, and hit refresh. And so that number changed very significantly. And that's how you connect to the cube and get started with your ad hoc analysis. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the flexibility of ad hoc, and we're going to start moving things around. So let's say we want to compare actuals to budget for P2. To S-base, and you can pivot. And then we're going to type budget down here. And for now, we're going to leave top C2 here. So when you do that, you have to populate it there. I'm going to format this. We'll format after we refresh. And so budget and training cube right now is 0. Going to format that real quick. Bugs me when it's not formatted. And we're going to look at 2017 because I'm sure I put some data in there for that. And now we're comparing for 2016 budget for PL revenue at Compass 1. Now, let's say I want to do a rolling 3 months, or look at 3 months. You don't always have to use the pivot feature if you don't want to. You can move things around like this, or you can just type wherever you need to. What the pivot feature does, though, is when you're moving from column to row, there are certain rules built into the software that you have to follow as far as placement. And by using the pivot, it automatically follows those rules. So let's refresh and make sure that this is going to work, and it does. We'll format it really quickly. We're going to move top C2. And actually now, let's move revenue down. Because we want to talk about the roll-up. So the last function that we're going to look at today is how to drill down into PL revenue. On the Smartview tab, in your options, you have your zoom in level under member options, zoom in level. And you can choose next level, all levels, bottom level, and you can read it. And here, OK for this sheet, or you can say save as default, and it will be the options for all workbooks that you open, or you can apply it to all sheets in this workbook. I'm just going to say OK for now. And I'm going to zoom in, and so that takes me to the next level. And if I want to know what those accounts are, because I don't have it memorized, PL11000, go to the S-Base tab, change alias, select default, and now it will tell you, okay, total sales tax, and other revenue. We can choose keep only, and you'll just have the revenue, and we can actually zoom out, and it'll take us to operating profit, and from there we could zoom in. And then you can see that we have expense and revenue under operating profit. If we want, we can change the alias back, make it a little cleaner. And so this is how an ad hoc analysis works. And you can you move any of these dimensionalities around. You can kind of create them on the fly like we did here. You can stack things. Like let's say you wanted to see 2016 compared to 2017. And you just wanted to see it for P1. So we just made that on the fly and updated it, and the new numbers come in for 2017 actuals compared to 2016 for P1. And there's really very little limits to what you can do as far as creating a configuration. The trick is you just have to think of it as an intersection, column, and rows. And what sits at the top in row 1 here, these are your dimensionalities that aren't changing. And by that I mean accounts changing because it's revenue, expense, operating profit. 2016, 2017, we're not changing the period here, but we could, or we can, move this back to up here, because now these are the only two changing, and we're still going to get the same data. So there's a lot of flexibility. I hope this is enough to get you started. If you have questions, please reach out to the Hyperion training team. Thank you very much.